Welcome. So I know I've got less than 29 minutes to talk, and I'm just going to make a list. This is a list. And I don't have my little kitchen timer with me, so I'm just going to hope I get this done in time. Now, my list is on my tablet, which I've got right here, and this is a list of all of the anime that have caught my eye and that I've checked out for the spring season of 2024, which started, of course, in April. So I'm just going to go through it. There's a lot on here, and there are, of course, more than this that I haven't checked at all, but they just didn't catch my eye. They're either returning series that I haven't followed, or they're just of a genre that I'm not that interested in. I don't really like sports anime, for example, so anything that's like about baseball or soccer or cycling or badminton, I'm probably not going to try watching it. I'm not into BL, which means boys love. I'm not really into Yuri, which means girls love. Not because I'm homophobic or anything, but just because I find them predictable. So generally, romance anime, and romance movies, for that matter, are fairly predictable. Person meets person, they get attracted to each other, they don't tell each other how they feel, they don't get together, there's some third party or even a fourth party who interferes, and there's different couplings, and then finally at the end they either get together or they don't. There are certain patterns that are predictable. But if it breaks that pattern, I'm on board, because then the romance isn't a part of it. I'm not a big fan of harem anime either. So I'll just jump into it. Here's my list. Now, on Sundays, Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. I'm very interested in this. As far as I remember, this is an anime-only release. This is not based on any manga or existing source material. Visually, it's beautiful. Story-wise, it's interesting, so I'm on board for this one. So, Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. Tonari no Yokai-san, which is a kind of like a Spirited Away, Sento Chihiro, mixed with Non Biori, living in the countryside. Also, I believe it is anime only. It's not based on any other source material, but I'm very intrigued by the world they have. Humans living alongside of creatures from folk tales and folklore, and they just exist together. No one thinks anything of it. So, and we're slowly learning about more characters, and there's some deeper backstories that we're exploring. So that's 2. Go Loser Ranger, which is a twist on the 5 heroes who battle the monsters, and it's fairly comedic. It's got a great opening and closing. Very good animation. I'm very interested to see where they go with this particular anime. Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. I found it very funny and also very endearing. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a returning anime this season, which I've been following since it started. This is part 2 of season 2 of Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. I just like the characters, I like the story, I like the animation, so I'm going to just follow this because I've been following it since it started. Another one, as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. This one is your typical reincarnation thing, but the main character is not overpowered. He's very, very young, but his only ability is he can see people's stats, and he's looking for undiscovered, highly skilled people who need a chance, and they'll help build this team that he thinks he'll need to save the country and save the world in the future. So it's a nice twist. I hate the overpowered main character. They walk into the world and they're immediately overpowered. Not interested. So we've got Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, Tonari no Yokai-san, Go Loser Ranger, Grandpa and Grandma Turn Young Again. As a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world. And Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. So that's 6 on Sundays that I'm following right now. I watched Vampire Dormitory, but after one episode, I dropped it. It just didn't catch my attention. It just seems typical. And I've got other romance-leaning anime that I'm following that interest me more than this one. So moving on to Monday, Train to the End of the World. This is also an anime only. It's not based on any existing source material. It looks gorgeous. It's also got this weird world where something happened a few years ago and the world kind of flipped upside down in a way. In this one town, all of the adults over a certain age turned into animals. And I guess anyone, when they reach that age, will turn into an animal. But they're still sentient. They still talk like people. But these 4 little girls who go to school want to get into Tokyo and look for their missing friend who was on a trip in Ikebukuro when this big accident happened. So they're on this journey, and the distances between towns are much larger than they used to be, but they have a working train, and the train tracks are normally powered by electricity, but there's some kind of energy in this world that allows them to move the train. So it's kind of a journey. So it's a bit like Kino's journey. It's a bit like Girls' Last Tour. You just go from place to place to place. It's a bit like Made in Abyss. But this one, I think, is definitely a keeper. Now, I'm also watching Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers, which is just a reincarnation, isekai type of thing. But the main character is overpowered, which I don't like. I might drop it. And then God's Games We Play. Now this one, I'll follow it depending on how clever they are with the games. If they have cool strategies to overcome the challenges and win the games, I'll watch it. But there are so many game-related anime I've watched where there's no cleverness to it, and the way they solve the games is just boring. So those 2 I might drop. So Mondays, Train to the End of the World, Chilling in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers, God's Games We Play. Now, moving on to Tuesday. Tuesday, I might drop these 3. So, The Banished Former Hero Lives as He Pleases. This is also your overpowered main character, and it just seems like it's in a hurry. So, the first episode, the hero manages to heal these impossible wounds. The second episode, the princess is healing impossible wounds. Why didn't she do that in the first episode? It's like the writers forgot what they've already established. So, I'm not that interested in following this one. I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. Again, your overpowered main character. But the world he lived in before, if he was looking for magical ability for nefarious reasons, and this reincarnated version of him has some evil motivation. I might give it one more episode to see where it goes. It looks great. It's got good animation, good voice acting, all of that stuff. But story-wise, it's not really catching me. Now, there's another one on Tuesdays called Monster. And this guy from a world where he's some kind of assassin with some abilities gets reincarnated as a goblin, and goblins age very quickly. And every time he eats things, he absorbs powers from them. I've seen this before in other anime. And then the last episode, he had sex with like 4 or 5 or 6 different female characters at the same time, using one of his abilities, libido, and these other enhancements he's managed to acquire. Suddenly, I'm not interested. So I might drop all 3 of those from Tuesdays. Wednesdays, Konosuba, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Season 3, I'm on board. I never watched Konosuba when it came out, but a friend of mine recommended it, and he really loved it, so I checked it out, and I just binged the whole thing, 2 seasons and a movie in like 2 weeks. And I get it. So when they said there's a Season 3 coming in 2024, it was on my list. I'm going to watch it, Konosuba. Another one that just popped up this week, The Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio. So 2 girls who go to high school, they're in the same class, and they work as voice actresses. They work as voice actors. They're performers in anime, and they also do singing and dancing and typical voice actress idol things. And they don't get along at school, but they're paired together on this radio show, and they have to kind of get to know each other and work together. Now, one little thing in the explanation, one tag says GL, which means girls love. If this becomes romantic, I'm going to drop it. But if it has behind the scenes of the voice acting profession, If it has them overcoming problems related to that type of career, I'll watch it. But if it becomes romantic, I'll drop it. There's another one that just dropped suddenly called The Grim Variations. It's on Netflix. It's only 6 episodes. I'm already half done it. It's not going to be a big factor for this season. So Wednesdays, Konosuba, and potentially the many sides of voice actor radio. Moving on to Thursdays, Delicious in Dungeon is carrying over from the winter season, and it's not finished yet. I'm going to keep watching it until it's done. And then there's a new anime called A Condition Called Love. This guy who falls in love too hard, almost to the point of obsession, like a stalker, is attracted to a girl who has no idea what love is, and she's very emotionally distant, but she decides to try dating him because she wants to find out what love is and if she can feel love for someone else. So she has a feeling like the girl from Skip and Loafer. He doesn't have the feeling of the guy from Skip and Loafer. So this one, I might drop it. I'll give it one more episode and then I'll see. It all depends on if I like the characters or not. I like her. I'm not that into him. We'll see. Now, also on Thursdays is Yuru Camp, Laid Back Camp. It's season 3. Now, I watched season 1. I watched the specials for season 1. I watched part of season 2, and then I got busy. So I've got to finish season 2. I've got to watch the specials for season 2. I've got to watch the movie. Then I can dive into this. So I haven't even started Laid Back Camp season 3 because I've got to catch up. So that's Thursdays. Moving on to Fridays. Another returning anime. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Slime Tensei. This is season 3. There are a few things I should watch, like a movie and a special episode, but they're not necessary to get into season 3. So I'm watching season 3. I'm going to follow this because I followed the first 2 seasons and I'm invested in this particular anime. Another one on Fridays is called Astronaut, which has this amazing retro visual style, like a 1980s or 1990s type of anime. Although it's, of course, made with computers. It's made, with modern technology, but it just looks retro. And I'm just really enjoying how it looks. And the story is quirky. The characters are quirky. So I'm going to give it a few more episodes before I make my final decision. But Astronaut is on my list. The next one is my Beauty and the Beast romance kind of thing. An Archdemon's Dilemma, How to Love Your Elf Bride. This one, I like the 2 main characters, and the world building is slowly developing. It's just simple, it's just light, it's just this awkward romance between these 2 characters. Like I said, a Beauty and the Beast type of relationship. I've seen it a lot of times before, but, sometimes I need at least one anime like this every season, just as a kind of cleanser for my mind for the deeper or more substantial anime. Next, Windbreaker. Now, Windbreaker is kind of a high school anime, a boys' high school, and it's about fighting but protecting this town. And the animation is gorgeous. The opening and closing songs are amazing. The voice acting is great, and it caught my attention. So this has nothing supernatural, nothing science fiction oriented. It's not a Chainsaw Man. It's not a Jujutsu Kaisen, but it has that feeling. And I'm watching Windbreaker this season. The next one, A Salad Bowl of Eccentrics. A princess and her bodyguard female knight wind up transported to our world from their magical world. And I think there are people who are trying to get to this world, searching for them for some reason. Maybe they need her to die so they can take over the kingdom legitimately. She winds up befriending a down-on-his-luck private investigator, and the knight becomes kind of homeless, but she's proud of being homeless. It's a new experience for her, and she's doing her best to be the best homeless person ever. So I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's light. There's not going to be any romance in it. It's not a harem. It's not a girl's love. And they're just quirky, weird characters. So I'm going to keep watching it, see where it takes me. And that's Fridays. Now, Saturdays is pretty meager. Now, there's one called Yatagarasu. The Raven Does Not Choose Its Master. I haven't checked that out yet. I might not. It hasn't, the description of it, the synopsis hasn't really hooked me. I'm still deciding. Another one called Kaiju number 8. This one, I might watch it, but it's on Netflix. I don't feel the same pressure to watch it because most of the anime I have to find on PC. So, Yatagarasu, The Raven Does Not Choose Its Master. I haven't checked yet. Kaiju number 8, I haven't checked yet. But I've already dropped Studio Apartment, Good Lighting, Angel Included. The first episode had exactly the kind of fan service I hate. Just meaningless fan service. From our point of view, not from a character's point of view, but from our point of view, that's directly fan service. I'm not interested in that. I find it boring. I won't explain it. If you watch the first episode, you'll see what I mean. So Saturdays has nothing I'm really watching yet, but my breakdown seems to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 that I'm following. One that I've already dropped. And then on top of that, 2 that I've dropped. I've dropped Vampire Dormitory and I've dropped the Angel Roommate one. And then there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I might drop. And then there's one that I will watch, Laid Back Camp, Yuru Camp, that I just have to catch before I check it. So this is a pretty dense season. There are 16 anime I'm following, potentially 17. And then there are 4 or 5 that I might drop that I'm also following. So that gives me like 21 anime. But I'm sure as the season progresses, some of those will get dropped. But this is more than last season. Last season there were 11. So anyway, I'll put all of these in the description if you want to see the list written out. And if you want to check any of these, let me know what you think. I might make some more videos as episodes come out, just with my feelings about them. Do we have a free Ren this season? Do we have the dangers in my heart this season? Do we have these things with deeper storylines, even though they might be kind of traditional in some ways? We'll find out. But anyway, that's the list of what I'm watching in spring of 2024 anime season. Thanks for watching.